Hi beauties, it's Dani, Sigma Beauty's global makeup artist. I'm so excited to share with you today our new mod collection. Designed with the modern beauty lover in mind, new mod encourages you to think as a trendsetter and stay ahead of the game. If you want to see how I created this look, then keep on watching. Alright, so to start off, I'm going to apply a little bit of my Hydro Lip mask in the shade All Heart. I'll just let that sit on my lips while I do the rest of my makeup. And before I go in with the new mod palette and do my eyes, I'm just going to finish off my face. So I have our Modern Glam brush set, which comes in this gorgeous velvet bag. And you have 5 brushes in this brush set. So I already applied my foundation and concealer using the F47 Multitasker brush, and now I'm going to use it to apply a little bit of cream bronzer and cream blush. Love using this brush with liquid or cream products. And I'm just adding this into the contour of my cheek. And then I'm going to remove any of the excess cream bronzer on my switch, which I just have down here. Alright, and that is my bronzer and blush applied with the F47. Next I'm going to move on to my F10 Powder and Blush brush, which looks like this. I'm actually going to use this for a little bit of highlighter. So just using my Glow Kissed palette, I am going to take the shade Flare, which is the first shade in the palette, and just add a little bit of highlight. Alright, that is highlight. Okay, so I'm going to prep the eyelids a little bit using a bit of our Persuade eyeshadow base primer, and I'm going to buff that in with our E28 detail buffer brush. And just apply that right to the lids all over. I have not played around with this palette yet, so I'm super excited to create a look with this. I really don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to try to use a bunch of different colors and textures, because that's what this palette is all about. You can have fun with it. And I just love all the shades that come in here. Of course you have your beautiful purple and pink tones, but even over here, these are definitely my cup of tea. I love these shades over here. Such a fun and beautiful palette. You have your gorgeous smooth matte, your really beautiful shimmery colors, some metallic shades. It's a really fun palette, but it's also very wearable. Okay, so the first shade I'm gonna go into is the shade Sophisticated, which is a shade right up here, and I'm dipping in with my E24 Diffused Blend from the Modern Glam brush set, and we are going to apply this to the crease area. So a fun thing about this collection is it was actually inspired by our liquid lipstick in the shade New Mod, which is right here, which is a beautiful nude pink shade, and that's kind of what stemmed the whole collection. And all of the shades in the palette are named after different kind of fashion styles. So you have posh, avant-garde, edgy, artsy, grunge, so you can really create any kind of look you want with this palette, and it really suits any kind of style. So before I blend that in, I'm just going to add this color into the other eye. I think I'm gonna go a little bit more grungy, smoky with this look today. Feeling inspired. So once I have that in my crease, I'm going to take the dual-ended brush that is in the palette. This is the E38 side. Diffused crease, and we'll just blend those edges out. This is a really pretty color. I love how it's a nice brown, but it has a kind of a cooler pinky undertone to it, which really pulls in nicely to those pinky purple colors in the palette. All right, next I'm gonna deepen up the crease even further with the shade Street Style, which is down here. This is the darker kind of red-brown color, and I'm going to use this with the E49 Medium Tapered Blending, which this is a great brush for building up the crease area because it comes to a point. So it makes it really easy to get into the edge of the eye. So I'm just going to dip the very tip of the brush into that shade. And then we're going to start building that color up on the outer eye. I'm concentrating most of the color just right out in the corner and then gently just blending inward. And then going back in with the dual-ended brush on the E38 side and blend that out a little bit so it blends nicely into the shade Sophisticated that we had previously laid down. And then just to build it up even further, I'm going in with the shade Grunge, which is this brown shade in the palette on the same brush. We're just pretty much gonna do the same thing, but just deepen it up a little bit more. And then once I get to the edge of the eye, I'm just slightly pulling that outward. And then once again, going back in with my E38, just diffusing those edges. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a cut crease action. So I have my Spectrum Color Correcting Duo, and I'm going to apply a little bit of this onto the lid. So then when I lay down my lighter color, it really pops. I'm leaning towards the shade Vintage for all over the lid. I don't even know how to describe it because it's so beautiful. It's almost like a bronzy tone, but has some flecks of pink in it. Okay, so now that I have the color corrector on my eyelid, I am going to go in with the other end of my dual-sided brush. It's the E54 Medium Sweeper. So it's perfect for packing on those shades. And I'm going into Vintage and just pressing that right onto the lid. Flipping my brush over, just going to slightly blend that in. And then just to bring out that pink sparkle in the Vintage shade a little bit more, I'm going to apply Artsy, which is this beautiful shade right down here. Just right on top, a very light coat. So I'm going to use that with the E24 Diffused Blend. And then I'm going to take the shade Avant Garde, which is a shade right up here, and just put a little bit on my finger and just concentrate that just right on the center of the lid. Just to bring in a little bit more dimension to the eye. And then on a pencil brush, I'm going to take the same shade and just pop a little bit of that into the inner corner. All right, so next I'm going to add a little bit of eyeliner using our Wicked pencil, which looks like this. I'm just going to run this onto the upper lash line. And using my E65 Small Angle, I'm going to dip into Grunge, which is the deep brown shade in the palette. And I'm just going to place that right on top. I just want a little bit of definition. And I'm just going to slightly wing that out. Just to go with the shape of the shadow. And then a little bit of the Wicked pencil on the lower lashes. I'm just going to stick with applying this kind of just right on the outer edge. And then again with the E65 Small Angle, I'm going to go into that vintage shade, which is that bronzy shade we used all over the eyelid. I'm going to use that on the lower lash line. I'm going to smudge that out a bit with my little pencil brush. And then similar to the lid, I'm going into that artsy shade. Moving on to mascara, I'm going to apply a little bit of our Sinuosity Lash to the upper lashes and also a little bit to the lower lashes. So I'm going to apply a half lash. This is our whimsical style. I love these for using in the outer eye. I feel like it really helps you get really close. Alright, so I'm going to finish off the look with our new Mod liquid lipstick. Alright beauties, this is my final look. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial using our new Mod collection. Check it out now on StigmaBeauty.com. Make sure you hashtag StigmaBeauty so we can see all of your beautiful looks you create. See you next time. Bye.